Hey, it's Pete Custis from the Small Business Resource Center and the Small Business Resource Center YouTube channel. It's Thanksgiving. I always like to be positive, but you get to a point where honesty is always the most important thing. And ever since I've gotten to stock trading, sometimes when I first got into it, I was like, wow, sometimes you feel like, okay, maybe I just made a bad choice. But the problem is many of the people and companies that control stocks, large hedge funds, banks, they're not in this game to be fair, honest, or nice. And that's why we have to explore stock fraud, stock abuse, and how this is happening and why people like yourself, the retail investor, are losing all their money. So when you're looking at these type of things, it's very important. And, legal disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. Anything I'm saying is just my opinion and just for entertainment. But let's look at reality here. Reality is you as a retail investor, you look all over to try to figure out ways to make money. And for some reason, you find a stock, you think it's going to make money because you're reading information on a website, because you think it's credible, because it's some big company or somebody's telling you this. Sometimes it could be posts online, and then all of a sudden the exact opposite thing happens. And some people are like, well, that's just how it goes. But why is it a fact that you just happen to lose 90% of the time? Does that make sense? No. But let's look at what happened recently with Bill Wang and Archegos Capital. He was actually making a lot of money as a stock trader. In my opinion, he realized he uncovered fraud and he understood how all this fraud worked. So he actually short squeezed hedge funds and banks and made a boatload of money. The problem is when all these big companies are stealing, banks, hedge funds, dark pools are stealing from retail, that's okay. As soon as you steal from other banks and cause them financial loss, that's when it is no longer okay. So that's why all you retail investors, me, myself including, happen to do trades that go bad. Nobody seems to care because a lot of these people know each other. A lot of them work for companies or are planning to work for companies that are involved or might be investigated, so nothing happens. Some of them are companies who have dark pool exchanges, and they're trying to start other exchanges. While there's so many posted information about these people and the abuse that they're doing, and so it's really a shame. But just to explain some of the things I'm talking about, when you buy a stock, typically, let's just say this is a stock. You buy it. There's a commission being paid to a brokerage that you're a part of, and then let's just say you pay 50 cents for this. Your plan is it goes up. It goes up for $1, you sell it, you also pay a commission, and then you get a profit for that. But what these dark pools and companies realized a long time ago is that they can make more money doing things differently. One, instead of getting this and making a little commission, if they realize a lot of people are making bad trades, so they said, why don't we just sell them this? It's nothing. So it's a piece of paper. If you want to get technical, this is a piece of paper too, but it's a real, genuine piece of paper. This is something they just created. Now you purchase this, and on your computer it says you own it. The issue here is when you purchase this, their game plan is that you lose money. So now, if you lose money, you pay, say, $1 for this, it goes to 50 cents, you sell it, they scalp the profit, and they keep 50 cents out of every deal that you do. They're like, okay, this person's selling this, they just lost how much money? Boom. They record that as a naked short because they cannot record this as a synthetic counterfeit share that they created. The problem exists is if this goes up, you pay $1, it goes to $2, now you sell it. If it's in their own dark pool or bad batch of people, they can sell it to another person in exchange and give you your $1. That's not going to be a problem. But the problem exists is when this goes up and they sell it to somebody who's not part of their dark pool, then that person's bank says, boop, okay, where's the stock? We transferred you the $2, and then they give them this, and then that bank says, what do you give me here? This is nothing. When really they need an actual real stock. And that's part of the fraud and corruption of the dark pools and what these people have been doing. This has been going on for so long. They have bot accounts, tons of bot accounts with bot farms. You can look up bot farms and see how easy it is. They post fake information all over to drive the price down. They use algorithmic high-frequency trading to scalp trades because they control a dark pool. So let's just say when you're in these companies that say they don't charge you anything. I mean, do you really think that all these big companies are making millions of dollars, but you're not being charged anything? So they're all front-running your trades. And they're basically manipulating it. You put in a trade for $1, they do not execute that trade unless they can get it for 98 cents or whatever their margin is. And then they're keeping the 2 cents. And that's why when you're looking at some of these things, they're manipulating the prices where they need them to go and not where they should be. Because if they go to where they could go at times, you are going to cause them to lose tons of money, and that's not what they're in business for. These people are criminals. They're manipulating a stock market, and they've been doing this for years and years and years. And this became a big problem because the simple fact that during COVID, so many people were at home and started trading. Tons of money were getting put into the stock market. They're used to having people put their money into companies, bankrupting them or having the values go really low and people selling, once again, scalping that profit off of synthetic shares that don't exist. And now, when that didn't happen, when companies didn't go bankrupt, that they put huge bets and sold huge amounts of synthetic shares, now they're in trouble. And with new leadership coming in, things are going to get bad. So my prediction for the new year is there might not be too much going on. There might be some rumbling, but after new SCE, Security Exchange Commission chair comes in, after new FINRA leadership comes in, I think the game's over for these people. Just so you're aware, I want to show you this information so you can see some validity to what I'm saying. This is Global Link's video. Global Links, there's a guy who realized this was going on, and let's listen to his story.
In March 2005, the Senate Banking Committee confronted then SEC Chairman William Donaldson with a story about Frank DeBrookie's company, the Nevada-based real estate holding company Global Links. An investor named Robert Simpson had set out to prove that small companies were indeed frequent targets of abusive naked short sellers. Simpson placed an order for $5,000 worth of stock in Global Links. That got Simpson ownership of all 1.1 million Global Link shares in the market. Not some of them, all of them.
There were no shares available to be borrowed, and yet in 2 days there were over 50 million shares traded. That's clearly something that needs work.
I was absolutely blown away when I bought 1,282,050 shares, which equated to 111% of the issued and outstanding. I just couldn't even fathom that. So it wasn't just crooked, it was Wild West times 10.
Now that you see that, let's look at some current information on two stocks that recently had major issues. So you can see how the market is manipulated, how fake news is putting out information to protect illegal activities, and how the SEC is complicit, as well as FINRA, in assisting these people. So you can understand this better and see that this is a widespread incident with dark pool abuse, synthetic counterfeit shares that don't exist. Here's another incident. You can look at ticker Works, WRX, 1.6 million outstanding shares and 82 million shares traded so far today. I want to keep in mind, if you want to get technical, that could happen, but can it happen organically and on its own? I would say no. If you're using multiple fake robotic accounts and you're trading, you can trade to suppress a stock because the people who create these synthetic shares cannot allow them to be sold outside of the dark pool and the systems that they created, because once they do, that causes the price to go up. And then it forces the person that creates a synthetic share to find a real share, because then the other broker that is a real broker and not part of the dark pool says, wait a second, what did you just give me here? And their computer system would say, what do you mean you got the share? And they said, no, that's not, you gave me a picture of a share when I want an actual share. And that's what causes stocks to Boaz or go up when too many of these things happen. This type of abuse needs to go away. And here's another recent stock where this happened. Omex, Marine Odyssey Exploration. This ticker got news that they won a lawsuit and they were going to get 37 million, from what I believe is correct. Exactly when that happened, the people in control of the dark pools and posting fake news put out that the company was going out of business. Now, it says they were declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy and going out of business. I don't know where the original articles are, but I'm just showing you this here. But actually, they won a lawsuit. So as soon as that happened, what do you think happened? They suspended trading. They caused a free fall in the stock. And immediately, people were posting that, hey, this company is not going out of business. Who's posting all these news or saying this? They actually won a lawsuit, and in a couple minutes they went down to 48 cents actually, even though this says 50 cents. And I think they might have went a little bit lower. Then the next day, what do you think? A buying frenzy occurred. Everybody who realized that they were not going out of business, that news was fake, bought stocks like crazy. The volume on this, from what Reddit says, was 220 million shares traded in about an hour or two. And this stock was going up very quickly. And then what ended up happening is the illegal trading robots manipulated the stock price back down because they sell synthetics. They sold so many synthetics. Now the stock price is going up and people are selling and they're losing a lot of money. So that's why this stock has been having problems, but this is getting investigated. We're sure it's being investigated. It has to be being investigated. So what are your experiences? All right, with this going on, there's a couple things you can do. I'm going to put a link to Project Popcorn and some other information. The reason why I'm going to do that, and if you've gone this far, you really need to check that link if you're not familiar with it, because there's a new year and it's time to expose the fraud. We all can make mistakes and lose money, but we're not really in business to have people steal our money, and that's exactly what's happening. All the bad people, 2025 is coming, or going down, not just with stock fraud, but a lot of other things. Prepare, everybody. It's the people's turn.